Hi and welcome to my channel. I'm Joy and this is Yoga with Joy. Today I'm going to take you through a really gentle, repairing sequence for this special area here that's been carrying a baby or two, who knows. So this video is especially for those of us who have experienced separated core muscles. So Diastasis Recti. So this is a rectus abdominis muscle down here. So these are our six-pack. And they separate sometimes when we're pregnant. So as the connective tissue goes around the belly, stretches around, the muscles reside back here, and sometimes the connective tissue can actually be stretched or overstretched. Sometimes it can be actually ruptured so that it's actually the abdominal muscles won't necessarily knit back together ever, but we can strengthen the rest of our core area and actually be able to be fairly fit and healthy in that area. But it takes some work, so it's really important to keep these gentle exercises going. And then sometimes the connective tissue actually, it's like elastic. It can gently knit back together over some time. So if you've experienced that, this video is for you. So the only props you might need is maybe a cushion or a blanket to go under your head sometimes when we're lying down. And I use a soft ball to go between my knees, so it stops my knees from going apart if we come up into gentle bridge. Or you can use a block, or you can try it without anyway. So you don't need to have anything necessarily. So yeah, this video is for you, and I just want to honour you for being an amazing human, growing another human, and sometimes we make sacrifices, and it's okay. So grab a mat and anything you might need, and I'll see you in a moment.
Oh, radiant sun, pure consciousness, flaming orb of truth and bliss, remove the veil so I can see, illuminate my heart, awaken me.
We'll start lying down, so come down onto your mat. Just being careful of your postnatal body or rectus abdominis, so the separated core muscles. Just being careful with transitions, so moving around, just looking after yourself as you do this. So we're going to start with our knees hip width apart and our feet hip width apart. And so you can actually use a block like I've got here, or one of these soft balls, anything like that, anything you've got to squeeze as you're doing these exercises, so that it stops your knees moving apart like this. So we're really trying to, especially with postnatal yoga, and we're trying to realign the pelvis and keep ourselves nice and straight. And yeah, with any yoga like that, we're keeping our knees together anyway. So yeah, use a ball if you need it, or a block or anything like that. So starting here in semi-supine, you can have your eyes closed or eyes open, that's fine. And taking a breath in and just gently pressing your lower back, your lordosis, which is in the curvature in your lumbar spine, your lower back into the mat, tilting your coccyx and your sacrum up. Take a breath in and then exhale down. So with the exhales, you're moving, and the breath in is just to prepare the body, to prepare for the movement. So, and also with the exhale, especially the first one as you're tilting up, we're lifting up the pelvic floor. So breath in, exhale, lift up pelvic floor, tilting the coccyx, sacrum, hips up. Breath, exhale down. So you can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, or you could breathe out through the mouth if you wish. Mula Bandha, pelvic floor. Exhale down. Exhale up. Breath in and exhale down. Lovely. That's great. If you notice that your feet are wanting to grip onto the mat, just gently loosen them as well, the toes, that is. Inhale, exhale on the movement, lifting up pelvic floor. Inhale, exhale on the movement, relaxing pelvic floor. So now we're going to move up a little bit further. So we're going to take the movement to the rib cage, the lower ribs. Breath in, and then exhale. Bring yourself up to the lower ribs. Being careful of this area. So you might find that that's quite strong for this area. So just feel into it. Breath in, exhale down. So same principle. The pelvic floor is coming up with you as you go up. All those muscles around the birth canal. And then bring yourself up again to the rib cage area. So that's your lumbar spine off the mat. Exhale. Exhaling up. Nice and strong, feeling in the abdomen. Exhaling down. That's great. Remember your breath in as you are down, your breath in as you're up. Inhale and exhale. Let's come up. See how it is if we come up to the shoulders, just the shoulder blades. Strong in the abdomen, feeling the strength around here. Breath in. One vertebrae at a time back onto the mat. So remember you can use something between your knees if you're finding that your knees are going apart. Shoulder blades, it's good. And gently bring yourself down as steady as possible. So if you notice you move slightly from side to side, just try and keep yourself nice and straight as you come down. Now coming up to the shoulders. So this one, you're coming up as far as you can, just being super careful. How does it feel? Might be quite strong on your back. Breath in, exhale back down. And we'll just do one of those. So you're just placing one vertebra at a time back onto the mat as you come down, so it's very gentle. Just do one more of those, Breath in, exhale, lifting up, pelvic floor, navel back to spine, gently peeling your spine off the mat, coming up to your shoulders, up into a bridge. Breath in, and gently placing one vertebra at a time back onto the mats and back to neutral. Lovely, that's great. That's quite a strong back bend. And then bring your knees into the chest and rock around. So we're just being super careful. This is a very gentle practice. So we're being really careful of our just had a baby body. So that's what's happened. We've had a baby and we're protecting and restoring our bodies, healing our body from the inside out. So we're healing, strengthening the pelvic floor, strengthening these muscles which have separated, and encouraging them to knit back together. So for some people that's possible, and others not so much. But it will still any help now will really strengthen your body for later, and it protects your lower back. Okay, so bring yourself back to center. We're going to bring some knee drops. So we're just going to drop the left knee over to the side, a few times, and then the right knee over to the side a few times. So keeping yourself really steady here. So exhaling, pressing your lordosis curvature back into the mat. Inhale, then exhale, dropping the knee over. So this is just really gently building up strength in your lower abdominal muscles. Breathe in, and then exhale. Making sure that your hips are staying flat on the mat. Exhale. You can always put your hands here if you need to. Breathe in, and exhale over. And then the right side. Breath in. Exhale over. Just gently dropping, keeping your hips on the mat. Breath in. Exhale down. Remember the healing from the inside out. So you're really looking after your body. Repairing after this amazing thing you've done, growing a baby. Probably the biggest miracle in life. One more time. Exhale, drop. And then back to center. That's lovely. Wonderful. So we're going to come and bring in the clock. So this is where you actually move your hips around like a clock. So you're circling. So as you think of your hip bones here, your left hip bone is 3 o'clock and your right hip bone is 9 o'clock. Your pelvic bone is 6 o'clock and your belly button is 12 o'clock. Okay, great. So if we go up to the belly button to 12 o'clock, we're tilting the pelvis like we did before. And then we're going over to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock is your left pelvic bone, hip bone. And then 4, 5, 6 is down to your pelvic bone. So you'll be arching your spine a little bit, up like this, over to 7, 8, 9, which is your right hip bone. Being careful not to lift your left hip too much off the mat. Then coming up to 10, 11, and 12 back up here. So belly button is 12 o'clock. So taking these circles around like this, going around the clock in your own time, circling around, being super careful. There we are, up to 12 o'clock. Over to 3 o'clock. Down to 6 o'clock. So you're taking circle all the way around to 9 o'clock. And then up to 12 o'clock. And so now we're going the other direction. But you can do it in your own time if you need to go slower. So that's 9 o'clock. Then circling around to 6 o'clock. Oh, being careful, like me, I might need, I'm going to put the ball here, just to stop myself from, my knees from moving out. So over to 3 o'clock, then up to 12. And then one more time around this way. Being super careful, moving your clock, hips all the way round. And then when you're back up to 12 o'clock, gently bringing yourself back to neutral. That's great. Wonderful. Okay. So I'll pop the ball out. See how useful the ball or blocks are. They're really great. Okay, so here I'm going to place a blanket underneath my head, because we're going to do Pilates 100. That's what this one sometimes gets called. So we're bringing the knees up and the shins, the calves, the lower legs are at a right angle. Oh, they're in line with the mat, and so our legs are at a right angle. I'm not going to lift my head because actually sometimes it can hurt my neck. So just do whatever you need to do. So if you can lift your head, that's great. And being super careful of this area. So remember, you've only recently been pregnant. You were repairing. So lift your head if you can, otherwise you don't have to. Okay, so bring your hands out and we're going to beat the arms as we inhale 5 and then exhale 5. So we're beating the arms 5 times as we inhale and then as we exhale, okay? So breath in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And then bringing the knees into the chest. That was 30. Just being really careful. We're going nice and slow. And then bringing the legs back to a right angle. Breath in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale the knees in. So that might be enough for you, that's 60. But let's go up to 90. See how it is. Breath in, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And release down. That's good. I think that's enough because our abdominal area is just building up slowly, building up the strength. If you find that you do this video a few times and you become really strong, hopefully your core muscles will be repairing. Your separated core muscles will be generally knitting back together. You can lengthen the legs is one thing. And you can lift up your head. Some people do it low down. I actually can't really do this because I still have separated core muscles 21 years later. So for me, this is too much. It feels too much. So it just depends on your body. So being super careful. But start in this way because it keeps you nice and slow build up. Okay, fantastic, great. Okay, we're going to come into the twist. So as well as strengthening, that one was strengthening our abdominus recti, which is our core muscles down here. So this one with a twist will help with our side muscles all the way down here. So it helps strengthen those as well. So bring your arms out to the side, lift up your legs like we had them before at a right angle, and then we'll move over, exhaling over, straighten the right leg, bend the left leg. Inhale back to center, changing over, straighten the left leg, bend the right leg. Really enjoy this strengthening of your transverse and oblique muscles. So every time we come back to center on the inhale, we're bringing the legs over to the side. And as you build up strength, you can lower your legs down further. But just start really gently and you can build up strength as you go. As you use this exercise over weeks or months. Switching at the center and exhaling over to the side. One more time either side. And bring the legs back to center, and then bringing the knees into the chest, and have a little rock around. That's great. Bring your hands onto your knees, and then we're going to exhale the knees together, inhale away. So giving your back a bit of a massage. It's lovely, good. And then the other direction. Making room for, so you don't have to come so close if your belly's still post-pregnancy. And then bringing your feet back down, and then turning over to the side. And then gently bring yourself up and find yourself over onto the cat posture. So your hands are below your shoulders and your knees are below your hips. And then gently inhaling upward cat to keep your shoulders lovely away from the ears. Exhale, lifting up Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, downward facing cat. So being really careful. If it feels a bit much, like sometimes it feels like you need to tie something around your belly if you really have lost a lot of abdominal muscle, then you can just do this as gently as you need to. And you can always, put something around your belly if it feels like it's a lot to be on all fours like this. But hopefully you've prepared enough. That's great. And then bringing yourself back to center. And then exhaling, right arm, left leg. So really strong in the abdominal muscles. So gently tucking them in, exhaling up the pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. Inhale, then exhale down. You're taking a full breath up there. Breath in, then exhale the other side. Right leg and left arm. Breath in. Exhale down. And then exhaling up. Right arm, left leg. Exhale down. Fantastic. Breath in. Exhale. Arms up. Left arm, right leg. Breath in and exhale down. Fantastic. Good. That's wonderful. So bringing your knees apart, touching your toes, and then gently exhaling back into child. And then bringing your hands over to the side, stretching out your right arm. So you're coming over to your left side, stretching out the right arm, which stretches your right side of your body, right torso. And then bringing your hands back to center. And then over to the other side. So coming to the right side and stretching out your left side of your body. And then the hands back to center. That's wonderful. Okay, so bringing your knees in, hip width apart, and see how this is. So this is going to be quite strong. So lifting up into a hover, and then lifting up your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. So you're really strong here, being careful of your lower back. If that's too much, bring it down and come up into upward cat and try again, or you can just leave it if it's too much. Then you can always lower again. Upward cat. Exhale, lift up. And then coming back into a half downward dog. Lifting up into an acute dog. So you have got straight legs. The heels are off the mat. And then exhaling down into full downward dog and walking out your dog. So only do downward dog if you feel ready for it. If you feel prepared enough for an inversion like this, gentle inversion, bring your knees back down, realign your hands so that they're underneath your shoulders, and then gently bring in flowing cat. So we're inhaling up, exhaling, bringing ourselves down. Inhale up, exhale. Inhaling and exhaling back. So really flowing and swooping down. So remembering on the exhale, lifting up pelvic floor and abdominal muscles. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, bringing the knees underneath you, and then bring yourself into seated. Coming into cross-legged or kneeling. And we'll just come into a tiny little twist. So inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then exhale into the twist. Looking over to the side. Being careful of your belly area. Inhale and exhale back to center. Breath in. And then exhale over to the other side. Breathing in and back to center. Wonderful. Okay, so bringing your hands to the heart. Just taking a moment to be here with yourself. Check in with your body, how you're feeling. You can always have a little lie down after this if you feel like you need Shavasana. Otherwise, let's close our practice together. Namaste. And thank you for sharing this practice with me. So yeah, just keep gently repairing this area, and hopefully your muscles will spring back. They'll bring themselves together. They might always have a slight separation, but the strengthening the other muscles will seriously help, and it will protect your lower back and protect you right into the future. So well done. And if you like this video and any of my other videos, then please subscribe. And of course you can comment and like on this particular video as well. I have some other videos for abdominal strength. So I'll pop one up here. You can always check that out, and I'll put some in the description box below. So wonderful. Have a lovely day.
Flaming orb of truth and bliss. Remove the veil so I can see. Illuminate my heart. Awaken